Kitty, come here. Come here. What you doing today? Good morning. Look at you with all your cat hair. Ow, don't bite. Don't bite. Don't scratch either. It's okay. That's right. Good morning, friends. We'll get started in about a minute.
if you have a bolster available today, go ahead and grab it. And it doesn't have to be a bolster. It can be a pillow. You want a little bit of firmness to it. And you can also use your blocks. We're going to begin lying down for heart opening, so it will look a little bit like this. And so, as I said, you can use bolster, pillows if they have a sense of firmness. You can even roll up a mat or a blanket or a towel and lie it down along your spine. But find something before we begin that you can lie down on relatively comfortably. And we've still got about another 20 seconds. So if you're in search of something, go ahead and grab it. All right, so that's my note to begin. As I said earlier, in case you weren't here, we'll be starting on a bolster or anything you can place underneath your spine for support to look a little bit like this. You can have legs extended or up, whatever feels good, to just start expanding the front side of the body. Before you get too comfortable, we're doing a little tiny meditation in here using visualization. So look up at your screen and just take a look at this beautiful little flower. I believe it's a daylily. Visualize it, etch it onto your memory plate. Count the petals. I think there's 6 of them. Look at the little stamen inside if you can see it. Get a feel for what it looks like. Etch it onto your memory plate. And then let's close the eyes and visualize that little flower. Start your Ujjayi breathing and continuously bring your mind back to the shape, the color, the sense of that flower. Or if you have something else you would like to look at and memorize, that's fine too. Open your heart to the beauty of it. You can add a mantra as you breathe in. I am kind. And as you breathe out, I am loving. And then just keep coming back to that visual, that beautiful flower, or whatever you're using. Trying to strengthen the mind. And this is a lesson that Mahatma Gandhi taught his grandson Aaron Gandhi when he came to visit and live with him when he was only 12 years old. He was facing anger issues, and so Mahatma is teaching him that anger is good if you channel it the right way. It inspires us to seek justice and to live according to truth and love. And Aaron, at 12 years old, doesn't understand how he can strengthen his mind. And so this is the exercise that Gandhi gives him. Just start with a minute a day and keep your mind coming back to something beautiful. And because we are limited on time, we won't stay that long. But we'll take about 3 or 4 more breaths, maybe adding the mantra. As you breathe in, I am kind. And as you breathe out, I am loving. The idea is to establish the truth about ourselves so that we can respond accordingly. Even in times when we would like to respond with anger, we learn to respond with love and kindness. We still take action appropriately, but just like everything else we've learned from the sutra and Buddha's teachings, it's not so much the situation, but it's how we respond to it, trying to respond in benevolence. start to make your way up by maybe rolling off to one side or finding a safe and comfortable way to come up. And keep your bolster or block handy. We're going to come to sitting on it in a Virasana type. So it might look a little bit like this, where we have it right between our ankles or shins and we sit back. If you can draw the knees closer together, that's perfect. Touch your little pinky toes so they come down and then hug the ankles in. So we have this sense of hugging in right at our hips. Now interlace right thumb on top and we'll take the palms facing up. Big inhale here, I am kind. I am loving. And again, I am kind. I am loving. Let's go ahead and stretch off to the right side. Push into the left hip so you have a sense of balance and holding on. And then take it right back up to center, releasing palms. Right arm on top of left once or twice, coming into eagle arm. Snuggle right shoulder down, pull your belly in. Inhale, lift up. I am kind. Exhale, lower down. I am loving. 2 more times, lifting up and letting go. Last one, opening up and dropping down. Releasing the arms open wide in your big heart. Come back to center, left thumb on top. We pop the palms facing up. And again, I am kind and I am loving. And one more like that. Finding the base in your right hip as we tilt to the left. And come back up. Left arm on top once or twice, eagle arms. And then 3 more breaths like that. Inhaling up, I am kind. And exhale, I am loving. Again, arms up as you breathe in. And down to breathe out. Let's take one more. Releasing arms wide, heart wide. Opening out to all kinds of goodness and love and truth. And then coming to all fours, we'll ditch the bolster for now. Just scooch it off to the side. Cat-cows. Inhale, expand your heart. And then exhale, push the earth away as you tuck your chin round the spine. 2 more like that. Inhale to open up. Exhale, round it out. And 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. Coming to neutral spine, we'll take 3 hip circles to the right as we add the cat-cow. So on an inhale, open your heart as you send the hips to the right. Exhale, round it off, coming back to center. 2 more like that. Inhale to the right. Exhale, round it. And 1 more. Lowering chin and chest, squeeze elbows in. Let the seat stay high for just a half a breath. And then scoop through to your mini cobra pose. Open chest, shoulders, lift up, downward facing dog. Big breath here as we inhale. Exhale, pedal it out a little bit, finding some movement in hips. And seeing how your body feels today in downward facing dog. And coming back to your neutral spine, keep toes tucked as we hover the knees right above the earth for 3 cat-cows. Inhale, open up. Exhale, keep hovering if you can as you tuck and round. And 2 more like that. Inhale, expand. Knees are hovering an inch above the earth. Exhale, round it. We'll take 1 more like that. Big inhale to open up. Goodness, love, truth. Exhale, round it out. Dropping knees down, release your little toes, and let's just shake them out for a moment. And we'll add those hip circles with cat-cow to the left. So as you inhale, find an arch in your spine, send the hips to the left. As you exhale, circle around, rounding it out. And 2 more like that. Really moving the spine, feeling goodness. We'll take 1 more. Now squeeze the elbows in when you come back to that neutral place. Lower chin and chest. Scoop it through, little mini cobra pose. Roll shoulders up and back. Lift your heart. And then take it right back up. Downward facing dog. 3 big deep breaths. So Mahatma Gandhi is telling us that we can channel our anger into a sense of goodness. We can't just react to things, and we need to find out what the root of our anger is so that we can absolutely channel it in the right direction. So instead of just reacting, he says, take a journal and write down the times you're angry, and then see if you can find the root of your anger. And that leads you into truth. Bend your knees, look forward, step or hop it up. At the top, inhale up halfway, fill up here. Now exhale, let it all go. Inhale to standing, arms come with you for a nice big stretch at the top. Pull the belly in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for half lift. Exhale, step or hop it back, either straight through to chaturanga or maybe you hold plank, maybe dropping to knees. Wherever you are, lift your beautiful heart, opening up, and then come right back up, downward facing dog. Big breath in and out. Right leg forward, low lunge position, dropping to left knee. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, prayer twist right. Inhale, back to center. Arms come behind you, interlace right thumb on top. Shrug the shoulders up and back, extend right leg, and then hinge nice and mindfully over the right leg. Come right back up, step the right leg back, plank pose, lower chaturanga. Lift your heart to breathe in, and come back, downward facing dog. Inhale, and exhale. Left leg forward, low lunge position. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, prayer twist. Inhale, back to center. And hands reach behind you, left thumb on top, shrug shoulders up and back. Extend left leg and hinge mindfully over that. Coming right back up, step the left leg back, plank pose, lower chaturanga. Inhale hard up and come back, downward facing dog. Breathing deeply. So once you keep a journal, either mentally or on paper, the idea is to reread it, but Gandhi cautions to don't get mad when you reread it. The whole point of rereading your anger journal is to find the root of it so that you can then face it with truth and respond accordingly. Bend your knees, look forward, step or hop it up. Come up halfway. Exhale, release forward. Inhale to standing, arms with you, nice big opening. Keep your belly strong. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or hop it back, straight through to chaturanga or hanging out in plank. Up dog or cobra, and downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale. Left leg comes through, high lunge position this time. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, prayer twist left. Inhale, right back to center. Exhale, hands to the floor, left leg back for a 1 or 2-legged descent. Taking it down, chaturanga or trianga. 1 or 2-legged up dog. And then 1-legged downward facing. Lift the left leg, stretch it out. And replace the leg, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Right leg forward. Inhale up for high lunge. Exhale, prayer twist right. Coming back to center, breathing in. Exhale, hands to the floor. Send the right leg back. And choose 1 or 2 legs to come down. Lowering chaturanga or trianga. 1 or 2-legged up dog. And 1-legged downward facing. Come back, right leg lifts. Now replace. Go back to your breath. Breathing in, I am kind. Breathing out, I am loving. Maybe visualize that little flower I showed you in the beginning, or maybe you have your own visual. Take 1 more. Bend the knees, look forward, step or hop it up. Come up halfway at the top, exhale, release, let it go. Inhale, come to standing, arms come with you. And let's draw the hands to heart center. Pull the belly in, shrug the shoulders back, lengthening the tailbone, setting a drishti just for a moment. Maybe visualizing that flower or something good in your mind so that we can constantly come back to goodness and truth, benevolence, kindness, and love. Now let's see if we can keep the hips relatively square as they are and just twist the upper body to the right. Watch how that left hip wants to come forward. See if you can resist a little bit by making your torso work hard. Expand your arms looking over right shoulder. One more breath like that. Take your right hand to your hips here so we can actually encourage them to stay a little bit square, and we'll find a twisted back bend, pushing the hips forward but making sure you have a sense of support with that right hand. And let's come on back, very mindfully unfurl. Big inhale, lift up, separate your feet. Exhale, hinge forward. Shift the weight forward into your toes. And now keeping that same shape, but let's start to twist to the right. Again, watch how the left hip wants to come forward. We'll see if we can resist that a little bit, keeping the left hip back, but looking underneath your right armpit as you lift up and twist. Now see if you can start to hook the left arm as we bend the right knee, moving into revolved chair pose. Tuck your little feet together, squat it down. Pulling the left hip crease back as you look over right shoulder. One more. Now keep chair. We'll unfurl, but staying in chair, left hand to hip, peace fingers towards the big toe. We're still in chair. Extend if you can. And then lift up. Right leg lifted, right hip back. Big breath in. Leg out to the side. Let's come back to center. Both hands to the hips, point the right toe, lift up, shoulders back, and release. Shake it out. Inhale, lift up. Hands to heart, set a drishti, pull the belly in, shoulders back. Now start to twist left. Watch how that right hip wants to come forward. See if you can even it out as if you had something holding you here. Expanding, looking over left shoulder. Keep that left hip forward. Now find support with your left hand as we move this into a twisted back bend. So you want to make sure your back feels okay in this. Holding your hand at the sacrum, pushing the hips forward, and finding a sense of evenness in the hips helps. Let's come on back. Unfurl, inhale, arms up, separate feet. Exhale, hinge forward. Shifting the weight slightly into the toes, let the head be heavy. And lift up just enough to start walking left. And as you do that, make sure the right hip doesn't come forward. So keep it back. And then lift your left arm a tiny bit so you're looking underneath the left shoulder. Start to hook the right arm as you bend the knees, coming into revolved chair. Sinking down, watching that right hip because it wants to jet forward. Your job is to keep the hips nice and even so our twist comes from the torso. Now keep your chair as we unfurl. Right hand to the hip. We keep chair. Extend left leg. Peace fingers to the big toe. Then come on up to standing. Pulling left hip back. Pulling left shoulder back. Leg out to the left. Leg back to center. Let's let it go. Point the toe, lift, and release. Shake it out. Let's take wide legs, toes pointing out, coming into our yogic squat. We'll start with right arm on top of left once or twice for eagle arms. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, snuggle down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Take one more. Inhale up. Exhale down. Keep this squat, but pivot your toes forward so they're parallel to each other. You'll have to pull your belly in. Your seat will stick out a tiny bit. Circling left leg over. Maybe you're just dangling here. Maybe touching the floor or maybe double wrapping. Either way, whatever you're doing, think of lifting the left hip, evening out, squatting down in your eagle pose. One more breath. Keeping your arms, release the legs back to parallel. Big inhale with your eagle arms. Belly pulls in as you exhale, hinge forward. Shifting the weight slightly into the toes, let the head be heavy. See if you can lift your kneecaps. Pull the belly in, roll yourself back up. Release arms, let the toes pivot out, star pose. Inhale here, exhale, tilt to the right. Just a nice big stretch. Come on, back up, left arm on top of right. Once or twice, snuggle left shoulder down, bend the knees. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, take it down. Taking one more up and down. Keeping everything as it is, just pivot your little toes forward here so we have a standing stance. Circling right leg over, maybe that's it, dangling, touching for support, or double wrapping. And wherever you are, the right hip needs to lift up a little bit, I'm pretty sure. Most of the time that's the case. Finding your sense of balance here. Now keep the arms. We'll just release the legs back to those parallel toes. Inhale, lift your eagle arms. Exhale, hinge forward. Coming to a place where you can let the head be heavy. Hopefully a nice big stretch in the back. Upper shoulders. Shifting slightly forward into your toes. Now roll it up. When you get to the top, we release arms, pivot toes out, star pose. Nice stretch to the left. Come on, back to center. Toe walk your feet in. Once you get to the very top here, inhale through the nose, lift the shoulders. Open mouth, exhale as you drop them down. 2 more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, let it go. And then 1 more. Inhale. And let something go. Hands to heart. Setting your drishti down towards the floor or closing eyes and come back to visualizing that beautiful flower from the very beginning. Calming the mind. Saying to yourself, I am kind. I am loving. Inhale, lift the arms, pull the belly in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or hop it back, flow straight through to chaturanga or hang out in plank pose. Maybe drop to knees. Up dog, cobra, and back to downward facing dog. Nice deep breath in and out. Right leg lifts, stack the hips, bend the knee, lift the head, look over left shoulder. And right here, you should be able to determine what's safe and healthy and truthful in your body. Go to that place, maybe flipping, side planking, coming out of the pose, anything that feels good. And then come on back, right leg lifts. We come forward, knee to the outside of the right arm. Now stay here in this plank pose, but twist underneath to the left arm. Staying in plank, twist back to the right. Still in plank, left. Last one, right. Now come center, hug in here. See if you can round the spine by pulling the belly in. Plant the foot between the hands, drop to left knee. Inhale to lift up. Big open heart here, pulling the right hip crease back. Keep lifting up, look up as you separate arms. 1 more breath like this. Now let the arms come behind you. We'll interlace right thumb on top. Little shrug in the shoulders. As you exhale, see if you can take a tiny back bend, walking down the left leg maybe, or just hovering right there. The idea here is we're creating front space. Now keep that space. Start to hinge forward. We'll dive inside the right knee. So start with your hands at the sacrum. Once you come into this kind of snuggling place where the right shoulder and the right knee are connected, then you can play with the idea of lifting the arms away from the sacrum. We go super mindfully because there's a lack of control here. And if you move too quickly, you're going to fall, and that's not the bad part. I just don't want anybody to hurt their shoulders here. So we don't have that stability with our hands on the floor. So go mindfully, taking each breath to determine where to go next. Now come up just enough that you can release the hands, frame the right foot, extend the right leg long. Take your fingertips high, walk your hands out. Check your foot, making sure it's even, that all 5 toes are coming towards the floor. Inhale, lift your heart. Open mouth, exhale as we hinge forward. Inhale, round the spine. Heavy head coming up. Open mouth, exhale. One more time. Think of letting anger go in the sense of reaction only. And now we'll hover here for a moment. Those of you who want to take it a little deeper into your splits, go for that. Making sure to keep integrity in the pose no matter where you are. And that would be right hip working back a little bit so that we're never twisting to the left. All right, if that's happening, try backing out and see if you can even the hips a little bit. Or you can always place a block underneath your right seat. Take another breath wherever you are. Now let's all make our way back up to the left leg bent, the right leg straight, just where we left off in that Hanuman flow. Cross the left arm over to the outside of the right foot, and then let's take this revolved triangle and kneeling. We start to twist to the right. See if you can shift your drishti to your right fingertips as you twist open to the right side. Taking one more big breath here. And as you unfurl just a little bit, rebend the right knee and we move into a low twisted lunge. Tuck your left toes under, lift the left knee up so you're in a high lunge now. We'll start with a little flow. As you inhale, lift up. Exhale, prayer twist to the right and dip to the left knee. 2 more times. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, prayer twist right as you dip. And take one more. Inhale up. Exhale, prayer twist right and dip. Now this time, let's hold this lunge for a moment. We'll start to hinge forward a little bit, trying to take it into revolved